Brice and I'm going to talk a little bit about e-portfolios and why they're important, especially for this course in particular. So e-portfolios are basically your own personal website that you create specific to whichever course that you're in that's requiring it, and they really just help you to have a useful tool to use throughout the semester to keep up with your homework, your vocabulary, your reflections, just everything that you do throughout the course of the semester. And e-portfolios are becoming more and more prevalent in courses throughout colleges and universities around the country, because having an online presence is becoming more and more important, especially to employers. So this e-portfolio is really important, and it's not something that you can use just for this class. You could also use it when you go to apply for a job, and when you're going to apply for a job, even if you just have an e-portfolio for Spanish 101 or 102, it's really good to show that you do have some experience with the language and that you have a little bit of knowledge about the culture and the language in general, and that you have the ability to create a professional looking website. So some tips on e-portfolios that I would give. I would say to use Weebly because it's probably the most user-friendly site that I've used. Super simple. If you want to add text box, you drag in a text box. If you want to add an image, you drag in an image. Super easy to use. You can also include videos about reflections. You can also include a comment box, which I would highly suggest because that just makes it more user-friendly for those looking at your website. So if your teacher goes on your website and he really likes your reflection, he can comment on it. Or if another student really likes your reflection, or they like one of your answers for your homework assignments, they can comment on that as well. And that just makes it a little bit more user-friendly for them, and also gives you a way to get some really good feedback. So another tip I would say is just to try to make it look as professional as possible. So I mean, when you do an about me, of course you want to have your interests and things that you like, but also have like your major and your future goals and what you hope to learn from this course, and maybe by the end what you did learn from this course. And so some reasons why e-portfolios are important, especially for this class, is because you can see your growth throughout the semester. So if you look at your first reflection from the beginning of the semester and you see all of these errors in grammar and vocabulary and all of these things, and your stem changing verbs and whatever errors you see, and then you go to your last reflection and you can see how much you've really grown, and you can also look at your vocabulary and see how much your vocabulary has expanded throughout the course of the semester. One thing that I found really helpful was I chose a word and a verb of the day, and that just shows that you can keep up with something on a daily basis, and also helps you to expand your vocabulary really well. So I would learn a new Spanish and word and verb each day, and I would try to use it in class or in my reflection or in group discussions or anything really. And these e-portfolios are really, really important as well to just share activities and homework, so you don't have to wait for your teacher to give you back your homework assignments to study. You already have them, they're already there. You don't have to go back and look in your book to find vocab terms, they're already there in your e-portfolio, so you can just use them at your own will. And e-portfolios are really, really important, like I said, for jobs in the future if you're going to apply for a job, because it just shows that you have a broader online presence than others. And I guess the last thing I'll say is you're only going to get out of it however much you put into it. So if you work really hard on it, you're going to get a really nice finished product at the end that you can be happy with and use in the future. And if you kind of slack off on it, it's not going to be as nice, and it's probably not going to be something you're going to want to use in the future. So if you're going to be spending the time on this anyways for this course, I would just take the time to make it something that you're really proud of and make it look as nice and professional as possible. Thank you.